Fall is upon us, which means not only does it mean cooler weather, but that winter is right around the corner. However, that doesn't stop me from picking up video games when I can. So I've got a nice little stack here and a little bit of an announcement, which I'll get to after these little stack of games that I'm kind of excited for. Some of them are, one of them actually in particular is one that I've been hunting for a long time that I finally pulled the trigger on and decided to get from my collection as I was a big fan of the original game. But more to that as we come to it. We're just going to jump in. First off, we start with a copy of Quake 3 Arena on the old Dreamcast. I've ended up finding this for somewhat of a decent price. Of course, the raising prices on retro games, it's probably the cheapest I'm going to see it for a little bit before it ends up, if it does drop again. But the reason I want this, even though I do have a copy, a little background story. This game was actually a prize when I found the Sega Addicts as they were doing the Dreamcast Marathon. Way back when, gosh, it's probably been 5 years, 6 years maybe back then. But as a prize, they gave me a sealed copy of Quake 3 Arena. And I kind of feel bad opening it, one, because of the memories of winning that from PocDX and Scotty when they were doing the marathon back then, and Brett, and meeting those guys and getting involved with Sega Addicts, which eventually led me to getting involved with Megavisions. So it's kind of nostalgic, and that's why I really haven't opened it. Plus, I feel bad opening a retro game like that that's still sealed. As much as I try to open as many games as I play, and it's not one that I got to, and I'm not sure I'll even open it. So I wanted to get a used copy. It's one of the 3, actually, surprisingly, that I actually have sealed for the Dreamcast, which I have very mixed feelings about that. 1, I feel bad because they are sealed, and 2, I feel bad because, well, they're sealed. Anyway, so that was one I wanted to pick up, especially with the Quake release on the Xbox and PS4 recently of the remaster of that game, so I felt it was kind of an interesting time. Next game, this was actually one that was on my list for a very long time to get. This was released on the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and Vita, but in Japan only. It's a sequel we never got to a game that we did get, and that is Fighting Climax Ignition. This is actually the revision of Fighting Climax. I chose to go with the PS3 version for now because, 1, it actually has faster loading times than the PlayStation 4 version has, or at least that's what I've been told. Plus, I have the original game on PS3, and we never got it on PS4 here in the West, so I figured I might as well kind of complete that set, sort of. I did have the Japanese import of the original Fighting Climax. I ended up having to sell that some time ago. Especially since it was the only real import game I had for the PlayStation 3 at the time. I don't actually recall. I haven't taken a recount of my PS3 games just yet to really see if I have any more imports. I highly doubt I do for that system. But this one in particular I wanted because I played the arcade version at some conventions, and this one actually has a couple more characters than the original release had. But the story kind of remains the same. But I just wanted that for the sets. The funny thing is, too, the original Fighting Climax that we got here in the West was actually censored. There was use of smoking in the Japanese version that they actually removed from the version that we got here. Not that it was a big deal. You hardly would really even notice unless you were really looking for it. So I don't think a lot of people knew. But I really wanted Ignition, being that it is available on the PlayStation Vita. That is also now on my hit list to come sometime in the future, hopefully, if I can find that for a decent price. It is getting harder to come by, as most Vita games are, both domestic and imported. It's getting really difficult, but for the most part, I'm kind of thankful that I've started backing off on getting any imports unless it's something I absolutely want. That is probably one of the 2 or 3 import games I really want to get for the Vita, and then just kind of finally call it quits. Especially with PlayAsia kind of drying up their Vita releases, which there are 2 more tomorrow, but I'll probably only get 1 of the 2. They're not very exciting games, not ones that really interest me so much, but we can get to that story when the time comes for that. The next one, a popular release. I've actually been avoiding, one, I don't have a PlayStation 5, and I don't have the new Xbox Series X, so I'm pretty thankful that a lot of Xbox games are backwards compatible with the Xbox One. And I've been playing that on more really lately than my PlayStation 4 since I only have a base PS4. I don't have a Pro or anything. So it runs games a little bit better than my PS4 does. But I ended up picking up Lost Judgment because I really enjoyed what the original Judgment or Judgment Eyes, depending on which region you're from, how that game really was. Kind of a side story to the Yakuza series, or in the same world anyway. And I really wanted to pick up the sequel, especially since this game has Sonic the Fighters in it, or Sonic Championship. And as many know, I'm a big fan of Sonic the Fighters. So of course, I had to get another version of it in another game. So a game within a game. But aside from that, it also had like Virtua Fighter and Fighting Vipers and all that stuff, and some Master System games included in this in the game that you can play later on after you unlock them, which I think is really cool. I love the fact that Sega does that with some of their games. I also got the pre-order bonus of the Steelbook case. So we have the characters on the front and Lost Judgment on the back, and on the spine it just says Lost Judgment. And I'm a sucker for these Steelbooks. Actually, I don't even know. Yeah, it does have some inside art, which is kind of cool there. But yeah, looking forward to jumping into that. Right now, I've got another game on plate that I'm trying to work my way through. But of course, I had to also pick up Sonic Colors on the Xbox. And strange thing is even though I'm a huge fan of retro Sonic games, I'm not so much a fan of the modern games. Sonic Colors is pretty average, I would say. The game level design, especially with some of the glitches and stuff that I'm hoping Sega clears up after a while with this stuff, was kind of disappointing. I do own the Wii version of this game that originally released on. I never really got around to playing it, so I picked up Ultimate, and I don't know, it's just not for me. Getting the Chaos Emeralds in this game is also a chore, because you have to collect those stupid red rings, and you have to have so many to unlock the next level, and there's like 3 stages for each emerald. So it's like almost another 14 levels to get through just to get the stupid Chaos Emeralds and the true ending. And just, those rings are hard to find, plus you have the gimmicks of the wisps and everything, and I'm just not a fan of it. I guess that's why I stick more with the classic games. So yeah, I would probably get this a 4.5 to 5 out of 10 as a rating for this game. And I really didn't want the stupid keychain. I'm not a big fan of Baby Sonic at all, surprisingly. Just wasn't for me. But I did play with that for a little bit. I think I got to the end. I still have like another 3 levels to get through to really finish it. And right now it's just kind of set aside for another game here we'll talk about in a little bit. But some Vita releases that I end up grabbing from Play Asia. We have Indigo 7 Quest for Love, which is a rhythm game, kind of a strange one. This was physical only. It is not digitally available on the PlayStation Network for the Vita, so I wanted to grab this one just because of that fact. There's no other way to play this on the Vita unless you have the physical version. This is number 236, and I want to say only 1,200 copies of this really exist. Surprisingly, this one sold out within about 10 minutes of it going live. I still find it crazy that people are picking up on Play Asia really quick, especially now that it's getting towards the end of their line of Vita games. So they're going really quickly. Not quite as crazy as limited run stuff, but getting there. I'm not looking forward to how the next releases are going to go, because I'm sure that's going to be kind of hectic. Along with that set, I also picked up Brotherhood United, which is kind of a 2D shoot 'em up Grand Theft Auto style type game. Well, not quite style. It's more of a, I would say it's a 2D run and gun, is how I would say it is. This one is available digitally on the Vita. I just wanted to grab it because I thought it was fun, and I don't know if I'm ever really going to grab the game. This is number 943. Again, I think out of 1,200 copies. This one didn't sell out quite as fast. I think this one sold within 12 to 15 minutes of it going live, which is still pretty quick. But yeah, crazy stuff with that. And lastly, we have the big one that I'm currently playing through, Tales of Arise. And I'm really enjoying this game. It's a nice action RPG. I've really enjoyed the Tales series since I jumped into it with Xillia 1 and 2. I also have Grace's F. I played a little bit of Abyss on the 3DS, but I'm really digging Tales of Arise. I really missed out on Tales of Vesperia, which I'll probably eventually go back and get, because I'm not sure if that's on Game Pass anymore or not, but maybe I can find a copy somewhere along the lines. But it is a pretty good RPG if you like action type. That's definitely, I would recommend picking up Tales of Arise. I'm hoping to get through it here. I'm about 23 hours into the game, so a little less than halfway through, but I'm totally digging it. Just wish I had a little more time to get through it. So those are my pickups for the month. Now for the announcement, sort of. But as some of us know, Too Many Games is actually happening next week. I personally will not be in attendance, unfortunately, because I'm preparing for Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee. I will be there personally. However, for Too Many Games, Mechavisions will have a booth, so we will have copies available there, a couple of the old ones. So this is actually one I have an article in. This is issue number 8. We also have issue 9 and the new reissue of issue 1, which should be there on hand at the booth. So say hi to the guys, say hi to Scotty for me if you guys are going, but look for us. We will be there representing. You can meet some of the other crew, and if you're at Midwest Gaming Classic, I will be there. I'm not sure if the boss himself will be there. If he was coming up, he was talking about it, but I'm not sure. This year we were thinking of maybe kind of stepping away from Midwest Gaming Classic until possibly next year, and then have the crew there if they're capable or able to make it, and then we'll have a booth up that way sometime maybe next year. But if you're looking to pick up an issue of the magazine, you don't want to order it, or you missed out on the Patreon and you want issue 1 before it's released publicly, that's the time to get it. So there'll be plenty of copies there. Again, say hi to the crew, and hopefully maybe sometime I'll make it out to Too Many Games, but definitely not this year. So that's all I got for this month. We'll see how things go next month. October seems kind of slow, a little on the... not a whole lot of games coming out again that I'm really totally interested in, but who knows. I may pick up some odds and ends, and we'll see how it goes. But that's it. As always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.